today. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, me too.
And like AI is such a good topic
It's a good topic
because
because I think people are still scared of it,
mhm,
um,
100%.
or and
Yes.
don't know how to use it to their advantage. They think it's gonna like take their lives over or something.
Yes. Oh yeah, that is like the main conversation that I see online and whenever I talk to people about like utilizing AI in their business, they're like, but AI is going to take over. This is going to be like iRobot and like
Yeah.
we're all going to lose. I'm like, maybe
Yeah.
so, but in the meantime,
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
use this.
Well, to be determined.
We'll see, 2100 is a long ways away.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
may be taken over at that point. Who knows?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, welcome everyone. If you're watching live, we're chatting about AI, obviously, and yeah, drop 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 into the comments, drop in the chat, let us know who's watching, where you're from, what you're doing, and yeah, if you have any questions about AI or whatever tangents we end up going down today, just throw that in the chat. We always like to have y'all included in here. But yeah, Noella, I guess let's go ahead and get started
Yeah.
in this episode. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me on this
Absolutely.
what bright Wednesday morning.
Yes. Yeah. It is like the weather here has been crazy. It has been super bright recently, and now it is like we had, I think it dropped like 3 inches of rain
Oh,
within an hour yesterday, and just like
wow.
the whole city was flooded. I was picking
Yeah.
up my kids as it was pouring,
Oh.
and we had so much fun.
Oh my goodness. I
It
bet.
was-
Well, okay. I bet you the
yeah,
kids had fun playing in the rain.
they did. I also did because I'm still a 12-year-old
uh,
and I'm just like, "Oh, the street is a river. Let's go like run
yeah.
through the river."
Oh, you're one of the fun dads. That's
I
awesome.
try to be a fun dad.
It is super bright here and finally warming up. I live in Canada, and
Nice.
so I feel like I deserve today.
Yes. Yes. Well, hopefully you get to spend some time outside with the
Oh,
sun.
I am going
Uh,
to for sure.
nice,
Yep.
nice. Okay, so you're in Canada, and give
Mhm.
us a little background about like what you do up there.
What I do in Canada.
Yes.
um, so I was a wedding photographer. Been in this industry as a photographer for almost 20 years now. Please, no one do the math on that one. um, I loved being a photographer, but it was as a mom, as a woman, it was a struggle once my kids went to school. So it was the perfect
Yeah.
career for me when my kids were little because I could stay home with them during the day, go do my thing, evenings, weekends. But as soon as my kids went to school, I was never seeing them because they weren't home with me during the day anymore, and then I would be walking out the door to do an engagement session or a consultation, and then they'd be walking in the door, and I never saw them. So um, went into problem solving mode and tried to figure out like what do I do with my career next,
Yeah.
and got really lucky. I met this incredible photographer out of Paris, and she just asked me if I would help her on the back end of her business. And that led to helping Vogue Australia. It led to like it opened the doors for the coolest fashion photography like world, and I got to be kind of take a backseat of their business, doing all their blogging, all their marketing, all their social media, developing courses, managing getting published and all these other like really cool things. And so from
Yeah.
that, I actually opened up a marketing agency. It like snowballed and happened on its own. Um,
Which is the
I
best kind. It's just
oh my
like this
goodness,
is just
it's
like
serendipity.
organically
Yeah,
growing. Yeah.
it's serendipitous. Like when I think about it now, I'm like that one meeting, and I mean, I'm going to pause for a second and just say how important it is when you're working with like people in relationships. Like you never know what's going to come out of something really cool.
Yeah.
Um, and that just kind of set the trajectory for my entire career. I ran a full blown marketing agency. We were serving anywhere between 50 and 75 photographers at any given time. I had a team of women working for me. Um, and it was the best ever until COVID hit. And it's actually funny because I think a lot of photographers and creatives had their business stalled during COVID.
Mhm.
For me, it that actually led to the busiest, most craziest time of my life, because photographers and creatives, their business kind of came to a standstill, and that led them to think marketing or developing another product was the solution to more income, right?
Yeah.
They're like,
Oh yeah.
started panicking. They're like, okay, we need to up our social media. We need to develop a new course, or, now
Mm.
is the time to do the email marketing list we've been putting off forever. And it just led to this like flood of clients and business that I could not handle. And I mean, I'm gonna say it like
Yeah.
I burnt out like big time,
Oh yeah.
in a way that it was impossible to get out of. Like, in hindsight now, maybe it wasn't impossible to get out of, but at the time, I had my staff that I was worried about with COVID and restrictions. We had an office that I had to like basically close down. We had our current existing clients that really needed us and were relying on us. And then we had these new ones that I couldn't keep up with the lead. So, all that to say, I kind of reevaluated my entire life and decided to sell the marketing agency and opened up a flower shop.
Nice.
How
Just a
random.
hard pivot.
But you know what? At the time, it just seemed like in my head, I was visioning, putting on this
Yeah.
cute apron and being, surrounded by flowers. And it was just going to
Hmm.
be like the most relaxing. And it was COVID. So like people couldn't leave their homes. So they were sending flowers to everyone. And
Oh yeah.
I'm a very big Hallmark fan. So I'm sure anyone who's listening knows what I had visioned in my head.
That is exactly what I was envisioning, just like
Okay.
with the gardening gloves and the
Yes.
shears and just like individually trimming each stem
Honestly,
and
and
just
to add to your vision here, I live in a small town.
Oh, well then
So
perfect. Yeah.
it was just, yeah, it was the cutest little shop in the world. And, but 2 years into coming out of COVID, or in the middle of COVID, I was like, what did I do? Like full blown, like, guys, don't make big decisions when you're in the middle of a breakdown.
Yeah.
So I started dabbling in like business coaching from there. I was like, I miss the creative industry. I miss like the strategy behind it. Like, I love cutting flowers. I still love doing flowers, but like
Mhm.
there was no real challenge to it, right? And so I started doing business coaching and was doing it while I was in my flower shop, which was really funny because my coaching sessions were me like putting bouquets together while on Zoom.
That's great.
Um, yeah, it was really great. And anyways, all that to say, sold the flower shop to a very good friend of mine. It's still running in my small town. And yeah, started focusing on business education and coaching. And then I got this really cool opportunity to join the Imagine AI team. And so now I'm a partnership manager. I manage North America, Canada, Australia for Imagine. And what that basically means is a lot of my job is educating people on AI and helping photographers figure out kind of how to utilize Imagine and AI in general. Because obviously, working for an AI based company, a lot of the fears around AI are the same, right? They apply to every
Yeah.
single platform, every single chat GPT. Like, there's people who just terrified of AI in general. And so a lot of my job is educating them on AI. And I work with ambassadors and just like the coolest photographers in the world. So very,
Yeah.
very, anyways, very long-winded story of mine.
I love it. I love long wins. It's
Yeah,
it's so good.
so do I.
And we got like some cool background on you and the florals and everything.
I don't, what?
Uh
I don't normally share that on podcasts. It's really funny that came out of my mouth. Normally, it's like part of my career that I'm like, did I start a flower shop? Yes, I did.
probably like triggered by my dead bouquet up here
Oh yeah. Well,
that
no, dead bouquets are great.
yes. I love it. It was from like a styled shoot that I did like 7 years ago or something. And I was like, I'm just gonna dry
That's
these
awesome.
roses and see if they stick together.
And roses
And
are the ones to dry, let me say.
yes, I have tried to dry. I went through a phase where, like, for all of my couples, I wanted to dry their flowers and then like make them a
Oh,
potpourri or something, or like press them into a book. And it was very short lived because I realized I'm not that person.
well, yeah, there's like a whole science
And
behind it, really.
yeah, and I knew nothing of that science. I was just like, yeah, sure, I'll just hang them upside down. That'll probably be good
That's
enough to
great.
dry them.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I love that, and I love like the the changes through all the years
Yeah.
in the different businesses, and like not doing the same thing over and over again, because that does get very
That
monotonous.
I'm an Enneagram 7, so I don't know if anyone here is into the
Oh yeah.
Enneagrams, but I'm
Yeah.
an Enneagram 7, and I need to be changing to challenge myself, and that photographer that I met in Paris,
Hmm.
her name's Carla Colson, if anyone wants to look up an incredible fashion photographer. Um, but she's the one who she was a little older than me at the time, and she was just the one who really gave me permission. She literally said, like, "No, you have permission to pivot." Like,
Yeah.
don't because I mean, when I went from every step that I've taken, it was terrifying. And I also was worried about even my parents being like, "You're changing jobs again, you're changing careers again."
Hmm.
Um, in hindsight, now looking at everything I've done, it's all just been like in the creative industry, supporting creatives, like getting my hands dirty and like really like, finding a problem and trying to solve it, which is probably why the flower shop didn't last very long. Cause like the biggest problem with flowers is like, are they going to go bad quickly? It
Right.
wasn't
Yeah.
challenging enough for me.
Like I need more high stakes than
Yes.
this.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
also probably a very needed break from high
Oh my
stakes.
god, it was
And
exactly what I needed, and it's
yeah.
lovely that I can drive by it every day and it's still there and
Yeah.
succeeding, and yeah.
Yeah. No, that is awesome. And yeah, I think that like a lot of us, Enneagram 7 or whatever you are, um need that little bit of change or a
Yeah.
shift, or like bringing in. I was talking to I was having coffee with another photographer here locally, Christine. Hey Christine. And we were talking about how like literally the day before, different people had told us you need to get a hobby. Like you need to do
Yeah.
something that's not photography, because like I love photography, and I love taking photos that I'm not getting paid for too. I love
Yeah.
doing that as a hobby, and like I do a lot of film photography and take pictures of my kids and all that. But that's still like in the same vein
Yeah.
of
The same
my paid
realm.
work.
Yeah.
It'd be like, someone like working at Subway having a hobby of just like making sandwiches
Yeah.
at home. They're like, "No,
Yeah.
but these are different sandwiches.
Yeah.
These are not subs."
Yeah.
Um,
It's just
and
nice to
yeah,
creatively stretch yourself too, right? Like
yeah,
to challenge yourself to try something totally different. I mean, maybe pressing flowers wasn't the best idea for you, but
but it was
um
something, and like yeah, and it also showed me like, okay, this was not it. Let's
no,
try
yeah,
something
it's
different.
I totally agree. I mean, like, so personally outside of my work stuff, like my biggest hobby is gardening. I live on 5 acres. I'm a hardcore garden nerd. I grow flowers actually. Um, and so I think it's important that everybody has like a really cool hobby and just nurtures it, especially with like if you're in the photography world or even a creative that involves technology, just to like step away from the screen sometimes and step away from your
Mhm.
tools of your trade. It gives you time to like come back to it with fresh eyes for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, and yeah, like just that being able to step away and then come back. Like I do that with editing photos or like doing video
Yeah.
or something. I'm just like, I need a 15-minute break. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
go, have some more coffee or something, or just go walk around and then come back. And a
Yeah.
lot of
So
times
good.
coming back to it, I'm like, okay, now I see what I need to do.
Yeah.
When before I'm just like, I don't know. I've been staring at
Yeah.
this
Oh,
for
yeah,
hours now.
exactly. We all get like our brain just can only hold so much capacity at one given time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and then like with AI, I know you mentioned a little bit of like the fears of AI, and I
Mhm.
hear that from a lot of people, because
Mhm.
I talk about delegating all the time with coaching photographers, and because you can really only get to a certain point
Mhm.
before you start bringing in other people,
100%. Yeah.
or other AI services, to be able to like take stuff off your plate, to focus on other things. And like one of the biggest things that I hear is like AI is just like they're gonna take our jobs. They're taking away like things that you could hire a person to do. and
Mhm.
now AI is doing that. Do you hear that often?
All the time.
Okay.
20 oh, so many. Yes, all the time. And I mean, I probably hear it more than a lot of people just because of my job.
Right, yeah.
But I think okay, so here's my opinion on it. My personal opinion. This is not related to Imagine, guys.
Okay.
Um, I think that if a photographer is really worried about AI taking over, they're focusing on the wrong things. And
Mm,
I'm not gonna just say photographer. I'm gonna say like creative. Like I'm talking like painters, like artists, just like the creative industry in general. I think if you're really worried about AI taking over, your entire business plan is based around the wrong things.
yeah.
And what I mean by that is you're focusing solely like if AI can take over you as a photographer and like your art and the story you're telling and the client experience that you're giving, then you're doing something wrong, right? It's
Right.
like those things should be so uniquely yours, and you should be so focused on like providing insane service for the client. AI will never be able to do that. What AI is going to do is it's going to make things a lot easier as far as communicating with your clients, helping write really intellectual or like curated emails. It's going to help you write blog posts. It's going to help you edit your images. It's going to help you create graphics. It's going to help you do all those things that anyone you could outsource to anyone, right? I can hire an
Mhm.
assistant tomorrow and they're going to do all those things for me. What an assistant can do and what AI can't do is what I bring to the table that's uniquely mine. And we hear this all the time in business. Um, Build a brand around yourself, right? Like
Yeah.
show those unique parts of you that make you unique. There's no way AI they'll never be able to do that. It will only do the things that you already can delegate.
Exactly.
So that's my perspective. It's like if you're really truly worried AI is going to take over, level up your client experience. Um, Learn at your craft a little bit better. Maybe learn some new techniques. Maybe show your face more. Like get in front of your clients and really give this insanely curated experience for your clients. Focus on that experience is kind of where I'm going with this. It's like AI,
Yeah.
it'll never do that. It'll never be you.
Yeah. No, I think the same people that are worried about AI replacing them should also be worried about any random person with a
Yes.
$300 camera, because
Exactly.
if you don't have that brand, if you don't have that secret sauce that cause people to want to hire you instead of
Yeah.
Susan down the road, no offense, Susan, but like there's nothing separating you from the other photographers, the other creatives in your field other
Yeah.
than price. And that's where you get the price
100%.
shoppers that are just like, well, I talked to so and so and they'll do it for $200 less than you. And like, okay, well, I guess I
Yeah.
need to go $300 less.
100 it's
And
true. There's like a million photographers in the industry and we just need to focus
mhm.
on what makes us unique. And and this like applies to any work, industry. Like I worked one of my major clients when I had a marketing agency was a paintbrush brand. And at that time, all the artists were worried about the same thing, right? They were worried about and graphic designers. I'm sure this is a big thing with graphic designers as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
AI duplicating what they can do. And I know there's like mid journey now, so photographers are worried about that. But that's just the end result. That's like the product that you're selling. Why people come to us is who we are and the experience we're giving them, whether that's pre-production, post-production, what maybe it's how you show up at a shoot, or like it's or how
Yeah.
friendly you are to the mom of the bride. Like there's all these like little things that they'll never AI just won't replace at all.
Yeah.
So I think if anyone's afraid of AI, I think my advice is to just kind of like revisit your workflow and your client experience, and really figuring out how to like infuse you and your personality and your brand into that. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
AI can't
I
pass.
I think that is some really good to like if it's been a while since you have
Hmm.
looked at your brand and how you infuse your personality into it, it is time because
Yeah.
we do get like very caught up. Like I also like post pandemic, I'm in Texas, so our lockdown was a lot shorter than
not like
others.
not like me in
Not
Canada.
yeah,
I was
not
like
like
really locked
years
down.
for you. It was like 6 months at most,
Oh my
and
goodness.
And it was just like a huge boom of people rescheduling, and also like people who had put off their wedding, and the like 2021 and 22 were the busiest years ever. And I got super burnt out, and I, did not work on my client experience at all, because I was just trying to survive
Yeah.
and keep my head above water. And I feel like a lot of people are like there either right now
Mhm.
or recently, and it's like, okay, I have time to breathe now. And like that is a great first place to look, of just like, how can I build my brand so that I'm
Yeah.
different than everyone else, and not just another person, for they have 10 tabs open and they all look the same,
Yeah,
but
it's
to
true.
where you can stand out.
And this is all I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna assume our next question is leading into this, but like
It is, yes.
this is also where we can take AI and use it to our advantage, right? It's like
Hmm.
allowing us the time to focus on where we should be focusing, right? Focusing on that brand experience and that client experience, and using AI to help with all the other things. And so it's funny because before AI became a thing, I've talked many times about this because, like I said, I ran a marketing agency, and part of what I was speaking on stages and on podcasts and things like that about was delegating. And so to me, this is the exact same thing, only we're delegating to a different form. We're not
Yes.
delegating now to, maybe a virtual assistant or marketing agency. We have the ability to delegate to AI. Let's just hypothetically, it's a person,
Hmm.
and take the things that are dragging you down off your plate so you can focus on what's going to completely differentiate you from everyone else, which is putting yourself in a position where AI is never going to be able to take over. So let's figure out how to use AI to our advantage to make us so cool that AI will never be able to help.
Yes, yes. Okay, so where are some areas that we can incorporate AI, just bring AI in, so that it's like, okay, I can take this off my plate and focus on the stuff that's
Yeah.
me, the personal things.
The personal thing. So, I mean, first of all, I'm going to say for me, obvious, we all know ChatGPT is a thing, and
Hmm.
it is extraordinarily helpful. For me, what I found the best with ChatGPT is to pay for it. I think, and I'm going to say, I think, for me, when I first started using ChatGPT, I was like, I'm not paying for this. This is like, not another thing I'm paying for.
Right.
And I was using it, and I feel like all the responses did come out quite robotic, which is why I originally had a bad experience with AI, because I was like, I'm not using this.
Hmm.
Um, you know, and now that I pay for it and I've created like a custom chat GPT, and I fed it everything, it is like insanely incredible the difference between the paid and non-paid version. So a little
Okay.
shout out to chat GPT on that one because
Yeah, I was gonna say that's some of the feedback that I've heard of ChatGPT, is just
yeah,
like everything sounds the same. It
yeah,
uses like those certain words about like your
yes,
journey or
yeah,
whatever. It's
elevate,
just
yeah.
elevate, yeah. And and it's just like, oh, this was definitely ChatGPT,
Yeah,
and now I have to go in and rewrite everything to
exactly. Which
not fall
so
into
which
the
is
robot.
why like I think some people are that's another reason why I think some people are hesitant to use it because they maybe just
Uh,
use Chat GPT and they quickly throw some information into it
mhm.
and it's not, up to par. It sounds like, a robot. And so I think my first piece of advice is to pay for Chat GPT if you're going to use it because I feel like your experience is going to be so much better. Like I have my
Yeah.
custom one. I fed different writing pieces into it so it can learn my tone. You can send it my website and it just all of a sudden knows everything that I'm doing and all the blogs I've written and like all the cool things. Um, and there's also different ways you can like connect to Chat GPT. So I have Chat GPT connected to Canva now, and it is life changing. So if you guys haven't done that yet, do it. It will
Okay.
create all sorts of cool things for you. Like you can literally prompt it and it'll create something really cool in Canva.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, I remember them announcing that there was uh that link, to where you
Yeah.
can put those together, and I was like, that sounds cool, and then I just
Yeah.
didn't do it. But
No, let's tell
which,
everyone they should do it
yes,
because it is
okay,
the coolest thing.
I need to
And
do
then if
that.
you want to take it like one step further with Canva, now I'm just going a little on a tangent,
Hey, we love
but
tangents. It's cool.
Canva has all sorts of cool AI apps into it in as well that will like completely change your life. So there's one app that I use all the time. It's called Bulk Create. And so, kind of my workflow is I'll
Yeah.
start in ChatGPT and I'll ask ChatGPT to create 10 Instagram quotes for me. Let's just say quotes or, poems, or I don't know. I'm going to be poetic for a second, be like a little storytelling photographer, where they just have like those little, like, vague little
Yes.
lines from some poem.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, you can have ChatGPT create a list of different quotes or pieces of advice or business, whatever it is you're envisioning. And it will put them into a spreadsheet for you that you can then upload into Canva. And you can use the app called Bulk Create, and Canva will automatically create separate graphics for you based on that sheet. And it is cool. It just happens right in front of you, and you can design them really pretty, and it just plops all the text in. So Bulk Create is like a really cool way that you can really simply automate your social media posts. There you go.
Yeah.
There's one.
Yeah.
um,
That's awesome.
so yeah, ChatGPT, Canva. There's all sorts of other really cool tools that I don't think a lot of people know about. For example, there's one called Video. There's another one called Lumen 5. Lumen 5 will take blog posts and turn them into slide decks for you. So if anyone's an
Ooh.
educator or does presentations, super
Yeah.
cool, because then you
Yeah,
can
that's
start with
really great.
ChatGPT, use Lumen 5, creates a slide deck for you. Um, Other ways that I use ChatGPT, I mean, it is integrated into almost every program now, right? Like HoneyBook, it's in there. AI is integrated into PickTime. There's so many different
Mhm.
cool programs now that uses AI integrations automatically. Obviously, I'm going to talk about editing because I love Imagine, but using AI to call and edit your images. And now Imagine just launched video, which means you can color grade using AI technology.
Right.
um, I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
the AI ways
Yeah.
are never
I
ending.
I love that you just, like, gave us, like, 10 different examples of different things
Yeah, let's
because I
let's put them in the notes or something somewhere because these programs are life changing.
oh, yeah, yeah, I will have all these linked in the show notes for everyone, so if you're just like, "Wait, what was that? Lumen 5? What is this?"
Yeah.
It's in there, scroll down, click on it. But yeah, like, it's more than just, like, I don't know, we think of AI as, like, a overarching kind of like
Hmm.
takeover. I don't know. This is just like a robot and it's impersonal and
Yeah.
I don't know. But like those things, even just like the bulk create on Canva, it sounds like a little thing, but
Hmm.
that saves you hours.
Gosh, it's
Like that
incredible.
is so much time to where you don't have to be like, all right, and duplicate this, and now I got to
Yeah,
change this,
no,
and
it's done in
no, this
seconds.
is not centered anymore. And like, yeah,
And
the
it
way that they
and
creates
I
it.
think kind of like the way that I think about AI is, like I said, it's like I want to use it as like a delegate, like outsourcing almost. Like I think about it as a
Hmm.
virtual assistant. How can it really help take a lot of this stuff off my plate? But not only that, how can it help elevate those areas? So for example, it's like with social media, I'm kind of terrible at social media, and I'm sure a lot of other listeners are. But if I could, if anyone could take anything away from this, it's like go into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to give my wedding photography clients 10 very helpful pieces of advice that they can utilize on their wedding day. And then I go and I take those, I put them into Canva, I create really cute graphics, and I automate it using one of the many automation tools out there that also all probably have AI built into them for the captions. But you
Hmm.
now just took a huge load off your plate and now have created like 30 days worth of marketing content, which is
Yeah.
something that I hate doing. It's going to prevent me from going into burnout, right? Because I'm not doing something I hate over and over again.
Hmm.
Um, and it's super valuable for your clients because now they're reading these really cool educational tips, and it's increased your brand authority by just having that out there in the world. So, anyways, yeah, I think so many different cool ways that you can use AI to just like take things off your plate, but also elevate your
Yeah.
client experience for sure.
Yeah, and I love that example too because like a lot of times we've been in the industry for years. This is day in day out. We're not really thinking oh, if you're new, like if you're a couple getting married, you don't know all of these things. But this
Yeah.
just comes second nature to us because we've been in the industry. And
Yeah.
having something like where you can ask ChatGPT of like what are 10 things that newly engaged couples should know going into like
Yeah.
finding their photographer, or even just like just wedding planning in general. And it could be very simple things that you're like, "Oh yeah, I guess
Yeah.
not everyone knows that." But it
Mhm.
seems second nature to you, and having ChatGPT to be like, "This would be good." It's something that you could easily expand on. You could turn that into a
100%.
series now because it's second nature.
Oh my
And
goodness. I even have like a chat GPT thing. So what one of my big things in what I do is I love to focus on like long form content. So whether that's like a
mhm,
podcast or a blog post or YouTube video, but you could have chat GPT help you with that long form piece of content. So it could write a blog post for you, for example. And I have one that will write me a blog post and it knows what keywords I'm trying to rank for. Um, because it's done that research for me.
yeah, no, I love that.
Um, but then I ask it to just take that long form piece of content, break it down into like 3 carousels, and it slide 1, slide 2. It does it all for me. Um, help ask it to write a newsletter that is going to be super educational for my newsletter list. Like it can do everything for you,
Mhm.
literally. If I want that blog post to be turned into a YouTube video, I'll use one of the other resources, the Lumen 5, to create a slide deck for me. And then I just voice it over. And now I have this YouTube video I can upload. Um, I use it for my podcast. So, I also host a podcast, and I take the transcription from the podcast and I throw it into ChatGPT. It creates my show notes, my YouTube description, my social media posts. Did I just tell everybody I use ChatGPT? I mean, I guess it's fine.
Yeah. I
Like,
feel
wait a
like that's
minute.
what we're doing today
I
anyway.
did, I don't think anyone writes show notes by hands anymore. Just saying, guys.
No.
um. Anyways, yeah. I mean, I think, and I do want to say something else. One little like, man, I'm so thankful this podcast is called Tangents because I'm going on a few of them today.
Yeah, yeah, you are welcome
Uh,
here. This is this
great,
is this is a
great. 'Cause
podcast for Enneagram 7s
there you go.
and
Well, and I'm
Enneagram
Italian
3s.
too,
We're
which just
just
adds like a whole other Italian Enneagram sevens are
I
just
was
not a great
wondering, like,
combo.
we have both been just our hands have been all over this.
I
Anyone watching on YouTube, they're like, they're both Italian, I can tell.
Oh my goodness, it's so funny. Okay, wait, where was my tangent going? No, I lost it. Oh yeah. So AI, the other thing is I think going back a little bit to people being afraid of AI. I think a lot of that fear comes from they use it once and they're like, oh, this result's bad, right? Going back to the free chat
Right.
GPT thing. And now because I understand AI so much more now that I work at Imagine, AI it's something that is trained, which I
Mhm.
think I think is very important to note. So let's say ChatGPT and Imagine as examples. ChatGPT, you can give it the most basic prompt in the world and you're going to get crappy results out of it. If you're paying for it, you're allowing ChatGPT to learn from your style. So the more information you feed it, the better your results are going to be. And it's the same thing, like even with Midjourney, you give it a few prompts and you're like, oh, this is awful. You give it a
Mhm.
few more and you get better results. It's the same thing with Imagine or any AI editing culling software out there. You are going to use it the first time and you're going to be like, oh, what's going on? I mean, sometimes you get lucky, but the more you feed it, the better the results are going to be. And so, for example, with Imagine, you can go right into Imagine, you can upload your unedited images, you could pick one of the profiles and you can use it. You might get good results, but you're going to get really great results once you train it and you create a custom profile for you. So it's like with any AI tool, the better the results you're going to get is by consistently feeding it information because it does learn. It's a trainable module, right? Like it's going to
Yeah.
learn from you. So I think that's in a little bit is just like be patient and like give it prompts and give it the opportunity to learn from you and you're going to get really great results that way.
Yeah. Oh no, that's so good of like seeing it as something that is trainable. And
Yeah.
like some like you think about like the first time you pick up a camera and you take photos, they were probably garbage. They you may have
Yeah.
been like, "Ooh, look at this bokeh. This is great." But it was like, Dutch
Yeah.
angles and like all stuff that now looking with the training that you have, looking back at it, you're like, "Hmm, yeah, not great. I would not
Yeah.
deliver that." And, like, it's the same thing with AI. They're starting off with nothing, just baseline. You're throwing in a very simple, like, especially with ChatGPT, there's, like, certain ways that you can, uh certain prompts that you can give ChatGPT to give you better results than just like, "I don't know, write a blog about this
Yeah.
thing." It's like,
Yeah.
"Write a blog about this in this voice, hitting
Yeah.
these key points,"
Exactly.
and, like, each of that little bit is training, and then, like, with the paid version,
Mhm.
obviously, it's learning from you over and over again, that just, like, every single time that you use it, it's gonna be
Yeah.
better
And
and
once it's
know
done,
what
like
you're
once
doing.
it learns from you,
Mhm.
it's learned. Like it's and this is why I like to like I like to think of AI as actually my friend Miles Whitboyer, I was talking to him where we were doing like
Yeah.
this live thing yesterday and he mentioned Imagine being a part of his team. And I
Mhm.
love that because I think we can think of AI as um some is part of our team that we are training, we're delegating things to, but they do require some training, right? And AI is the same. You
Yeah.
have to put a little bit of time forward in order to get the best results out of it.
Mhm.
And
Oh, yeah.
I think that's where people just, they try it once and they're like, ugh, and then they're like, nope, never using AI again.
Right.
Give it time.
Yeah, it's like I remember, like, when I started using Imagine, was like, after the first 1,000, 2,000 photos, I was like, "Okay, I'm still going in and tweaking," and, like, there were some
Mhm.
things that I was like, "Okay, we're gonna fine tune this, and then I upload
Yeah.
these back so that,"
That fine tuning makes
Imagine
such a big difference. Yeah.
it does, and
Because
now
again, you're
after
training it, right? Like you're literally
exactly.
teaching. These are this
Yeah.
and what you did is great, but I would have done this, this, and this to the images. And then you're
Uh-huh.
telling it, this is what I would have done. And
Yeah.
it just gets better with time.
Yeah, yeah, and now 30 plus thousand images later, it has fine-tuned a ton to where it's like, I get the images back, I'm like, "Oh, that's kinda better than what I was planning on doing," to be honest, and, like, I still do the manual pass and everything afterwards, but, like, there's a lot less to do the more that you are able to train AI.
100%. And something else that I think is really cool is sometimes AI can do things better than us.
Yeah,
And I say that, let's use ChatGPT as an example or writing content. It freaking does like spelling, grammar check. It will create
yeah,
everything consistently, right? Like it's not going to all of a sudden one day write you a blog post that's super cheeky and sassy, and then the next day gonna write one that's super emotionally driven and like it learns how you want it. And so it's creating consistent work for you. And the
mhm,
same is to be said about editing. Like with Imagine, if I was to be manually doing it, chances are very high, even if I'm using the exact same preset,
yeah,
chances are very high that from session to session, my work is going to be inconsistent. With Imagine or ChatGPT or any AI tool, it's learning from you and it is going to deliver consistent results every single time. So it is making my clients happier because they're getting exactly what they expect. The editing style is what they're seeing on the website. It's very,
yeah,
very consistent across all different sessions. So
yeah.
to me, that's like a huge asset on its own, right? You're
Oh, for sure.
delivering consistent results all the time.
I don't know how many times I have had to pull like an all-nighter or like stay up till 2 a.m. editing photos. And then the next morning I'm looking at them, I'm like, oh, no, no. This is my 2 a.m. eyes were not the same
Not the
as
same as
my
9 a.m. eyes.
no. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh no, I gotta go back and change this. And like, yeah, that consistency of AI to be able to at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
I mean, there are plenty nights where I'm like wrapping up things. I'm like, I'm just gonna send this to Imagine, and then before I fall asleep, getting an email like, "Hey, your edits are
that's so
ready,"
nice. Yeah.
and yeah, I don't have to worry about AI being sleepy or
Yeah. Well, and imagine too, like how many times, I mean, I see it all the time. I'm in every Facebook group on about, photography related.
yeah,
And I see so many times like, oh, this client's complaining that, the photos were edited this way, and they want their money back. They're not happy. And I'm like, that wouldn't happen if the work on your Instagram and on your portfolio is consistent to what you're delivering, right?
yeah,
Like everyone's like, well, did they not see your work? Well, their work might be different than what they're delivering because of that 2 a.m. edit session, right? You're not
Mhm.
always delivering consistent work. And so this prevents unhappy clients, I want to say.
Yeah.
Maybe a little stretch of a unique perspective on AI, but you really are like you're delivering exactly what those clients are expecting.
Yeah. Yeah, and a little side note on that, I have a few different, second photographers that shoot with me pretty often,
Oh, good call.
and I shoot Nikon, for the most part, and a lot of people are Sony or Canon
Mhm.
or Fuji or, whatever, Leica, whatever, and, like, the way that I don't have to, like, figure out different color profiles for different cameras, or, like, I have a DSLR that I still shoot with every now and then, and I have mirrorless cameras, and, like,
Mhm.
everything is a little bit different, and the great thing with AI editing is, like, it's looking at the finished product and how to get
Yeah.
there, and it's like, "Okay, yeah, this was shot with Sony, that's cool, I can do these things to get to this."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
instead of me like, "I don't know, the greens are just not greening today. I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on."
Yeah, and that's the thing is, yeah, like AI editing, it works to deliver
Yeah.
consistent results. It does its thing in the back end to make sure that it's consistent.
Yeah.
Which actually you just kind of blew my mind when you said that. I never even thought about that as far as like hiring associates and like ensuring that all your associate images are also consistent. I've never thought about that before, so that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, because I see that a lot in, like, the second shooter Facebook groups of like, "Hey, Canon preferred." Like,
Yeah.
I want you to be shooting with the same camera body that I am for that consistency, and now I'm like, shoot with whatever, as long as it's a good camera. Like, don't
Yeah.
bring your, like, Kodak Easy Shoot or something. Like,
Dang it. I'm
maybe, I
out. I
don't
can't be
know,
your second shooter.
that kind of vibe is coming back, so maybe.
Yeah, it is trending, that's for sure.
It really is. But yeah, okay, awesome. I have loved this so much. What are some things, like, kind of before we wrap up, that I know you listed a lot, and we're gonna have a bunch of links
Sorry,
for
guys.
everyone. No, I love it. I love it. But where are some, like, first steps for people who are just like, okay, Noella, those are a lot of things. I want to incorporate those, but, like, where do I start? What's one thing I can do for them?
I'm gonna give everybody it's typical Noella, I'm such an educator, but I'm gonna give everyone an assignment.
Yay. Homework.
um, a little bit of homework. I think what's most important is for everyone to literally take a piece of paper and write out the areas of your business that you uniquely do, like
Mhm.
no one else can do. I think that's important. First, because you want to focus on that list.
Yeah.
I think people automatically are like, like I have a friend who's like, he's obsessed with his social media. It's so important to him, the way that it's curated, the way that the voice is, the colors, it's like ultra important to him. Don't outsource that. If that's part of your brand and that is so uniquely important to you, don't outsource that. And I think it's funny because everybody always thinks when they think of outsourcing, they're like, I'm going to outsource my social media. If that's part of your brand, don't. So make a list of everything that you want to be uniquely yours that's going to stand you out from everybody else. And maybe this involves doing some market research. Um, and so take that list and just like put it on your wall or somewhere on a pin board or whatever. Everything else that's off that list that you can outsource that is dragging you down, that is,
Mhm.
you just feel icky at, like maybe it's editing. Maybe you love shooting a wedding. You absolutely love that entire process and you love curating the carousel on your Instagram, but you hate the editing part and that's what's making you dread your job. Start there. Start the areas that are making you feel icky. I guess that's the best way to put it, right?
Yeah.
Um, what I think, like you said at the beginning, and I can't remember if we were actually recording when we were talking about this because we had a little pre-tangent.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's like if you're on the verge potentially of burning out right now, like you said, there's like a lot of people that are probably in that space right now. Make a list, a secondary list of those areas that are like really causing you to feel stressed, that are causing you to feel overwhelmed, the areas that you're starting to do dread in your business. Maybe it is blogging, maybe it's your social media, maybe it's your editing, and find resources that are going to help to take those things off your plate so you can find joy in that first list. So to me, it's
Yes.
like 2 lists. One,
Yes.
things that you love, the things that are uniquely yours, the things that are bringing you joy, that you absolutely love about your career, that you do not ever want to delegate. And then the whole other list that's like, you have to do it because it's part of running your business, but you can't stand doing it. That's the list you want to start on and figure out how to integrate AI into all that, whether it is ChatGPT or it is the fancy apps in Canva or it is editing with Imagine. Start there. There you go.
Yes.
That's my
Oh,
tangent.
I love it. I love it. No, that is so good. And it also like that exercise, that practice will show you the things that bring you a lot of joy too in your
Yes.
business. So if you are
And it
going
will
through that
remind you of
burnout,
that, right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and you can see like, oh yeah, this is I do get excited every time that I edit my photos. Like I was talking to someone recently who was looking to outsource, and she was like, I need to take stuff off my plate, and we were kind of going through that. I didn't do like a full like sticky notes and
It's just
everything.
typical
we,
Noella.
we were just like
Yeah.
we were just chatting over coffee, and she was, because I had mentioned Imagine obviously, and she was like, yeah, but I really love editing my photos. Like that is something that
Don't
I
start
find
there.
joy. I was like, then don't outsource that. Like
100%.
keep
Yeah.
that. You want to keep the stuff that brings you joy, and the stuff that you're just like, I have to do this again. Okay, let me psych myself up, or hype myself up, or psych yourself up. I
Yeah.
don't
What are
know.
the two? Whichever.
Whatever you need to do to yourself, just to
Yeah.
get ready to do this. Like those are the things that are should be on the front of your list to
Yeah.
outsource, to find the. I'm sure one of the links that we'll have for you will take care of that.
Yeah. No, 100%. I love the whole perspective on it. It's like, and okay, I'm going to do a tiny little tangent because I know we have to be done here, but
Okay.
um, Imagine was started, actually, the founders of Imagine started the company because one of them had just gotten married and was didn't want to wait much longer for his wedding images.
Yeah,
And I can
totally
say
understand
typical,
that.
yeah, like, and I can
Mhm.
say now, typical owners of Imagine, geniuses, and he was just like, I'm going to create a solution for this.
Yeah,
And so I think that's it. Just goes back to that, like if your clients are waiting too long because it's going to affect your client experience, right? Like if you're dreading editing,
hmm,
you're not going to do it quickly. It's going to sit on your desk forever,
yeah,
and it's hurting your client experience, which is
yeah,
probably something on your love list, right? Your things list of things you love to do is probably dealing with your clients and the people behind it. But you could potentially be hurting that list by not taking quicker action on the list of things you dread.
yeah, yeah. And it may not even be on the list that you dread. It could just be it's taking up a good block of your time. Like
Yeah.
your day to day, you only have so many hours. I know, like I have a lot of stay at home parents. I'm a stay at home parent
Yeah.
as well. That I only have so many hours during the day while the kids are away
Mhm.
to do things. And like if a good chunk of that is editing, then I'm not able to get to the other things that are also really important in business. And being able to outsource that, to have that back in my inbox 15, 20 minutes later, I'm like, all right, amazing. I can do this now,
Yeah.
or I can do this tomorrow. And like you're not getting to that deadline where you're like, okay, I told them they would have their images in three
Yeah, you
months,
don't
and it
wanna wait till
is
the
two
deadline.
days
Yeah,
away from 3 months.
yeah, no, because yeah, you wanna keep that really important client experience because that
Hmm.
experience is what's making you unique, right? So
Yeah.
the faster you can do those kind of little things in your business, that is going to allow you to want to have more space, gonna help you be less stressed, but it's also going to help level up your client experience even more. So I think
Yeah.
we just maybe added a third list to our homework assignment. So there's like things you love, things you dread, and things you want to get better at.
Yes. Yes. I love it. Okay, Noella, this has been so fun and like so um I was gonna say dense, but that's not the right word. Just like jam-packed full of great knowledge and things.
Thank you.
So thank you. And before we wrap up and let people know where they can follow you and about your podcast and all the things, there's part of the show that I like to do where we talk about what we're loving this week. And it can be literally anything, a new TV show, book, movie, whatever, new food. What are you loving this
Oh,
week?
it's funny because I knew this question was coming. Okay, I'm gonna just say something super cheesy. I'm very pumped because it's gardening season right away where I live, and like I said, I do have like my garden's an acre big,
Uh-huh.
so it requires a lot of pre-work and planning, and it's almost time to plant my garden. So totally not AI
Yay.
or Imagine or photography related, but I'm so pumped about it.
I love it. I love it. I personally do not have green thumbs, but they're also not black. I don't kill everything that I have planted. I kill most things, or maybe the Texas heat does. Um,
Yeah, you got your. It's very hard to grow things in Texas. I'll
it's
give you
so
that. It's not
hard.
your
Yeah.
fault.
Between the heat and the birds, like they
Yeah.
just we had to
Mm.
we tried to grow blueberries one year and we were so excited about them, and then they all just got eaten.
Oh,
Even with the we put like a chicken wire deal
oh, with the
around it.
chicken wire. Oh, that's sad.
Still, they
I'm
got in
sad for
there
you.
somehow. Yeah. But
Oh,
it was fun to say we had a blueberry bush at home.
oh.
But no, I love that. There's something like really calming about
Oh, I
uh,
love it. I love the
gardening.
whole, yeah, the process of being in the sun, like tending to the
Yeah.
garden. I mean, I will say, so if anyone follows me on Instagram, you will see by fall, I will be complaining a lot about gardening season by
Yes.
fall because I'm so, like I said, I'm Italian. I grow a crap ton of tomatoes, and by fall, it's like
Mm,
tomato sauce making season. And I'm like,
yep.
my whole
It's
kitchen is
just
covered in
everything is
tomatoes.
covered in
Yeah.
tomatoes.
I'm
Yep.
just at the point where I'm like, I don't give a crap about tomatoes anymore. I don't care about sauce. I'm done.
Yep.
So
Yep.
stay tuned, guys. October, you'll be
That's
hearing me complain.
that is my in-laws' house. They have a bunch of tomato plants and a bunch of squash. And it is just like they let the squash get super huge too. They'll be like,
Yeah.
softball size round.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh,
these
that's
are now
hilarious.
gourds. Um, but yeah, it's just by the end of the summer, it is
Yeah.
every available
Counter space,
counter space
literally.
is
I
just
mean,
covered in
it's
vegetables.
true. And I
Uh,
complain quite vocally about my tomato sauce. So guys, stay
yeah,
tuned. Yeah.
yeah,
By May, I'm pumped. By October, I'm over it.
yeah, yeah. Okay, awesome. Let's see. I'm loving this week it's a I guess it's a board game. It's like a kind of like a Trivial Pursuit type game, where you have like the board game, but then there's also a digital aspect, just an app on your phone that will just like AirPlay to the TV, and it's really fun. Just kind of like random like pub quiz kind of things, and
Fun.
science and nature and animated movies, and Harry Potter is a category, and like there's different things. So like we'll play, we kind of brought in the girls who are 4 and 7. They're not really too interested in it. They like just moving around the characters more.
Yeah.
But our 10-year-old is very into it. Like every day after school, he's like, can we
Oh,
play
you'll have to.
Outsmarted?
What's it called?
It's called Outsmarted.
Outsmarted. I have a daughter
Yeah.
who's very into games, so she would probably love this.
Yeah. It's really fun, and like there's different ways you can play it, and it's just it's really interesting, and we keep learning a lot, and like sometimes it'll be like what out of these four animals, which one uh is not a mammal, and we're just like, I don't know. I don't know three of these animals. So, and then we're like, if we get it wrong, or if we guess it right, and then we're just like, all right, Alexa, tell me about this animal. Like, we'll just pause the
Yeah.
game and then learn about whatever it
Oh,
is.
that's so
Uh,
fun.
but it's really fun. And it's also been like another way to connect with the kids, and
Yeah.
especially our oldest. And
Yeah,
yeah.
and that's why my daughter loves games. I think it's just like, it's dedicated fun time with the family. We're not on our phones.
Hmm.
We're not on the like we're not all distracted in different rooms.
Right.
And
Yeah.
she's at an interesting age right now where like that's just super important to her. And I have a feeling maybe Gilmore Girls has something to do with it. I think she maybe watches a little bit too much TV, but
Uh huh.
she's just, so into that. So games are all we're doing now in the evenings, which is really fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, yeah, definitely check out Outsmarted, and I'll have a link for that in the show notes too for everyone.
These show notes are gonna be great, man. If
Yeah,
someone doesn't actually listen to this, they're gonna be like, were they talking
I
about?
was like, I'm just scrolling through all these things. I'll get
That's
ChatGPT to
hilarious.
write it up for me.
There you
Uh,
go. That's
All
awesome.
right. Noella, where can people find you online? Where can they learn from you, listen to your podcast, all of those things?
Good question. So I have a website. It's just noellaandres.com. Same thing on Instagram. Like I said, I'm not great at Instagram. I'm great at my Instagram stories, but that's about it. And
Same.
my DMs. So if anyone has questions, DMs are the place to talk with me. Um, and I'm at Imagine. I spend all my days at Imagine. I'm at almost every photography event in North America, talking about Imagine. I'm just passionate about Imagine. So anyone wants to find me, I'm at Imagine. And also, if anyone has any questions, I'll leave you also with my email address, and anyone can ask me any questions about Imagine or if they want to check it out. You're also one of our Imagine people, so
I
you're super
am.
helpful as well for everyone.
Yeah. Well, awesome. And then you also
Oh,
co-host the
podcast,
Six Figure
yes.
Photography podcast
Yeah,
with Ben
so I
Hartley.
know. Sorry, Ben. Yes, yes. Ben Hartley and I have a podcast together, Six Figure Photography Podcast. I think it's on all the places. Nobody
Yeah.
judge my show notes. It totally is written by judging me.
Everyone's probably like, wow, these are really well written show notes. She does do a really good
I
job.
do make sure that the word elevate is not in there too many times. I will
Yeah.
say. But
No
yes.
more than 15 times in each show
Yes.
note.
It's a
Yeah.
prompt. It's a prompt I
Yes.
give it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, cool. I will have those also in the show notes today for
Perfect.
everyone. But yeah, well, Noella, thank you so much for being on the
Yeah,
show. I
thank
really
you.
enjoyed getting to chat and just
Yeah, so fun.
talk about AI and talk about gardening and all the fun things. Uh, but yeah, well, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you for the next episode. Bye, y'all.